All right, welcome back. So I want to get right into it on this weekly Forex cast, covering potential setups, the best setups I see here for the week. Last week, man, was interesting. All right, it was a very volatile week with all the fundamentals, all the news events. Here looking at the dollar index, starting with DXY as always, you could see with the rates and everything, dollar had that initial pump. So we had a major pump right here on the daily, forming this big bullish engulfing the past like 6 days. All right. And then we could see after that with NFP and everything that came in, price recovered that move, sold off, reached this low. So now it's interesting coming into this week to see how dollar's going to react here, because now we pulled all the way down here and it's now finding some support. All right, so it's interesting to see. For at least for now, we could see dollar hold some support here and correct. But we have more fundamentals this week. We have CPI, I believe, Tuesday CPI. All right, dealing with interest and rates and things of that nature. So this is something that definitely I expect to bring some volume, more volume into the dollar. So I'm interested to see how price hold here. I'm going to be waiting, uh, allowing price to develop on some of these dollar pairs, because it's been a lot of manipulation happening. But at least in the short term, we could see, some dollar correction here as it holds support. All right, but if the numbers come out in a negative light, I mean, we could see the dollar end up having a deeper fall. All right, but if I'm looking at this still based off the monthly, I believe even if it has a deeper fall, then it's just setting up for a bigger correction. All right, because the monthly still has this firm bullish engulfing. So I'm still looking for a bigger wave to happen to the upside on the dollar. But in the short term, we could possibly see, the dollar have a deeper correction before any more continued buys. So I'm interested to see how price do that this week, and we'll just react to what price gives us. So heavily this week, I'm going to be focused on some of the JPY pairs as well. So let's get into some of these now. All right, so starting with UJ. So we see here with UJ, we do got a bullish engulfing on a monthly. All right, bullish engulfing on a monthly. So that could mean that price is setting up for a bigger wave up, but we can possibly get some type of sell-off or correction to happen first. All right, so if I go down to the smaller time frame, we can look at the weekly. We can see price came to this level of structure, a previous level of structure where price broke below, retested in the past as resistance, and sold off, making lower lows of structure. We came up and retested in that area again, and now we're seeing that rejection. All right. So this week, seeing how the JPY pair set up to end the week, there was a lot of manipulation as well, but now seeing how price developed, we can see here on the daily, price came up, printed this evening star on the daily, rejected, and continued to fall. All right. So on this, I look for a pullback opportunity for the next potential wave, because the market moves in waves. Understanding these as an impulse, correction, impulse. All right. So we could take our counter trend line here as well. Take this counter trend line joint real quick. Throw that in there like that. And then we can see what price did. We had this drop, slight pullback, and then boom, we broke trend line, broke structure to the left. All right. So now I'll at least look for another wave down. So on this pullback, let price correct here on this pullback, look for that next potential wave down. All right. All right. So EJ, man, EJ did some manipulation at these highs. All right. I sent this out. I was looking for price as we had this breakdown. I was looking for price to come back and retest. It broke structure there. I was looking for the retest here and a continuation. So with all the news events, it had a deeper pump up, pretty much a stop hunt. It grabbed liquidity up here, wicked away, and then boom, just had a sharp close right back below structure. All right. So seeing this big close on the 4 hour, as well as that type of rejection on a daily, I look for, and we can also look at this on the weekly. All right, on the weekly, we do got a bit of a bearish engulfing, but also like a shooting star type candle here, rejection here on the weekly. All right, and it's rejection from a level of supply. Looking to the left, always look left to go right. It's rejecting from an area that price had a big fall in the past. All right, so now what I would do is I would come down here and I would say look for some type of pullback. All right, you see it's rejecting now, so some type of correction. All right, within here, you know, looking for the next continued wave down. I would look to take this down towards anywhere between 143, 142.7-ish or 142.6 type area. This pretty much this zone within here, at least. That's will be the next area I would look for. So correction, setting up for the next drop. All right, GJ as well. We had a lot of manipulation happening. Now you remember I sent out this sell. This sell actually in the VIP hit for our target for like 150 pips. It played out the initial plays that I was looking for. All right, because initially what I was looking for is once price broke structure here. All right, this was textbook. Once price came, broke structure here on this retest, right? It continued, hit our targets. All right. Now, after that, we found support. Could look to the left. This was a level of support in the past. We found support at that same level, bounced up. All right. But then we had a sharp close right back below. All right. Just like all JPYs had a sharp close. We had some yen strength, strong yen strength come in the week. All right. If I'm looking at the daily, also a big rejection here on the daily that we're seeing. All right. If I look at the weekly, strong weekly closure. And if you look at that previous weekly candle, it was a strong pin bar type rejection, wick rejection. All right, rejecting from this level of structure. All right. So I am looking for another potential bearish wave here on GJ. So similar to EJ, I would say look for price to give a corrective wave. All right. Look for a corrective wave to set up for the next potential bearish wave. So either that and they catch less for pullback, correction, retest, wave down. All right. Or you can wait to see a price when it comes down and break below the structure. If we do that, that's a sign we're going even lower. Look for the pullback or retest opportunity to continue to ride that wave down. All right. That's GJ. All right. Looking at CAD JPY. CAD JPY, same thing. So I sent this out as well, and I was saying I was expecting this to break down. We had some yen strength come in. So looking to the left, this was a previous level of support, all right, or demand. All right. So around this level, you can also look at this. These is like areas of resistance within here. All right. So price retested this area here as well to the left, and we had a rejection. Now we got a strong close right back below structure. All right. Strong close there on the weekly. Also strong rejection and breakdown there on the daily. All right. So I will go down to the smaller time frame and I will look for the potential corrective wave setting up for the next drop. All right. So you can see here, I got my counter trend line, and what price did, price broke down, you know, retested here and continued. Boom. So now continue to look to ride that wave. On this pullback or corrective wave, you know, look for price to set up for that next continued drop. I'd expect price to stay below this structure here. All right. So any type of corrective wave within here is ideal to set up for that next wave down. All right, looking at GU, dealing with the dollar. So the dollar was interesting. I caught some of these drops here, like when the dollar pump was coming in, I caught some of these sales on GU, on EU. But now price rebounded all of that. You know what I mean? If I look at the weekly, this type of rejection on the weekly, honestly, I don't like. You know, I don't like for sell bias, because really initially when I was looking for sales on GU, I was expecting price to come back into the zone. All right. And at that zone, I knew it was chance that price was going to bounce from. So we could see by looking at this wick, price slightly broke below that, but then we had a strong bounce away from that level. All right. So it's a possibility that we're going to see a big rebound on GU, but I'm not surprised, because if I look at GU on a monthly, now GU is bearish here, but if I'm looking at this previous candle, it's a big bearish engulfing. It's a bearish engulfing candle, but that's on a monthly. So it's a good chance you see that on a monthly. So it's a good chance that price corrects some of that engulfing candle before setting up for the next drop. All right. And now looking at the price action that's happened on the smaller time frames, if dollar bears come in too, that's just going to give more reason for this to rebound up. All right. So I wouldn't be looking for, me personally, I'm not really looking to sell this. I mean, you could possibly catch some type of short-term move down. I mean, we could still see it still sell off before going up. I want to see what happens with the dollar this week with some of the fundamentals and see if the dollar is going to hold support or not. We could go to the smaller time frame here, like the 15-minute, and you could potentially catch, a wave down. Let's say if this comes up and it tries to drop and maybe give you another opportunity, you could possibly catch an opportunity. But this could just, if the dollar goes weak, any type of drop from here is like, could be just a correction to set up for, the next wave up. Something like that is possible. Okay. So want to see how that play out. Because something I look at when I'm looking at GU, EG, Euro GBP and GU are inverse. So let's say EU setting up for buys, right? If I look at Euro GBP, it's looking bearish. All right. We had a rejection there on the weekly. Look at this weekly, right? Strong wick play, strong price exhaustion. All right. So could be setting up for the short. And that will go in line with pound or GU setting up for the buy. All right. You could backtest this. You could do the comparison. You could see how they trade inverse. So we had a breakdown here. All right. So if price continues, like let's say if price continues to break below here, break below structure, then that's definitely going to continue to drop. But it could possibly maybe pull back some first. But if it comes down and breaks below here, then that's a sign that we're going even further down. And that will go in line with the GU bulls. So we'll see how things develop and just react to how price sets up for us. All right, now AU's been ranging here where price is currently at. But if we look at the higher time frames on AU, if we look at this on the weekly, we got a big bearish engulfing here on the weekly. All right. So I am still bearish from a weekly perspective on AU, but we could possibly see price pull back for some type of retest before that happens. All right, because strong break below structure. You see support structure within here. We got a strong bearish engulfing on a weekly break below. So that's a good sign that sellers are in control. We could set up for a bigger drop. But looking at this on the daily, we also got a strong break below structure. But first, I like to see some type of pullback or retest before we catch that next wave. That's potentially what happened next. Or we have to see how price react here, because price is ranging right here, right? Now, price just so happens to, let's say a price just happens to break structure below. All right, now if it continues to just break down, then that's a sign that we probably just going to continue to drop. And you could continue to sell the rallies or the potential pullbacks and to continue to ride that wave. All right. But we could possibly see this happen first. Some type of pullback or retest before any continued drop. All right. So that's my bias on AU. EU, similar to GU. We could look at this on the higher time frames. We could look at this on the weekly. You can see on the weekly, strong wick rejection, really price indecision right now, right? It's a lot of choppy price manipulation. If I look at this on a monthly, though, same thing. Big bearish engulfing on the monthly. So I do believe this is setting up for a bigger drop to go in line with the bullish engulfing I see on a monthly for the strength of the dollar for the long term on a monthly. But this is bearish engulfing on a monthly. So it is a big chance that we could see price correct a bunch of that. All right, before any more continued drop. So we could go down to the smaller time frame. And again, this is going to have a lot to do with what the dollar does. All right, what the dollar is going to do. So EU did find support. And again, EU was a sell that was actually given out. I gave this out in VIP. We got our sell target and got out. But now we reached this level of resistance again. We see we are rejecting now. All right, but it depends on what the dollar is about to do. Okay. You could see this maybe pull here on the 15-minute, maybe pull back some and possibly catch some type of day trade on this for another wave down. But I do believe this could be setting up to break this structure and head a bit higher first. Or overall, for a bigger corrective wave. But before that happens, you could possibly catch some type of sell. I'm gonna sit on my hands with this. I'm gonna be patient and wait to see what happens here. And then gold, man, gold had a big rebound, man. If you were on the live session I did inside the VIP, you remember I told you I was buying gold down here. All right, I only caught 100 pips of this, mind you. I only caught 100 pips. I'm thinking, okay, I was looking for price to pull back for another drop, so I was catching the counterplay. But this was the move, man. I entered somewhere down here around 1814. Price moved over 500 pips from that entry. So I understand that if I look at this on a higher time frame. So same thing on a higher time frame, you got a big bearish close, but this could be setting up to just correct that, pull back that before the continued drop. So on the weekly, looking at this type of candlestick on the weekly, to me it's showing bulls, because remember, when I started this bullish engulfing here on the weekly, I was like, okay, I was liking for price to set up for the buy, for the bigger move up. But I just knew we probably have some type of sell-off first, and that's what happened. And then we retested that whole candle, and now look at this type of bullish hammer type close on the weekly, which is, for me, that's a bullish indication. Price is likely to head up higher. All right, it's likely to see that on gold. And gold usually is a sign of what the dollar is going to do. So if this is any sign to the gold really holding support and going higher, then it's likely we're going to see that dollar sell off. All right. So if we look at this on a daily, boom, price basically found like a double bottom right here, broke above, and which mean that it broke that neckline. All right, broke structure. So in the short term, we could possibly have gold pull back some. All right, have gold pull back some before any more continues up, if that's what it wants to do with the dollar set up for that as well. All right, but where price is currently at, we are at a level of structure. If we look to the left, all right, this is a level of structure. Like, look here, price broke below. Price broke below, retested, continued. All right. So now you could possibly catch an intraday setup on the gold. All right, if price starts to shift here, if price does shift, all right, you could take your counter trend there, trend line. If price does shift, you could possibly catch some type of intraday setup. But keep in mind that could be just a correction, right? It could be just a correction to set up for a bigger wave up on gold. All right, because looking at that weekly, it's looking like we're going to get a bigger move up. Okay. So that's my watch list for the week. I will narrow. I cover multiple pairs to give you guys opportunities, things you could look at. But I do narrow it down to like my top 2 or my top 3 for the week. Those in VIP, any signal that I give out will be one of those top pairs that I choose to take. All right. So just stay patient. Be sure to like and subscribe. I hope this helps. Again, when it comes to the promotion I'm doing for the new broker and to tap in the VIP Discord for free, that's still running until Wednesday. But if not, you guys can just what I show in these videos alone and the analysis I send out. I mean, if you have some type of experience, you should be able to take advantage of that to still make some money. All right. So I hope that helps. And let's lock in this week and let's catch some pips. Peace.